Hi guys. Today I'm going to be admitting something a little bit awkward for me to talk about. Really, well, it's not that bad. Get on with it. Alcohol, basically. So in my teens and 20s, I had a bit of a problem with alcohol and drugs and everything else. But alcohol's been in my life since I was about 12. To a greater or lesser extent. Now, when I had my pregnancies, although I was really overweight and everything, I stopped drinking completely. And it was fine because I was all focused on the pregnancy and everything. And when I first had my gastric bypass surgery in 2013, I stopped obviously drinking after that for ages, but not as long as I should have done, really. It was one of the top things they say is be careful with alcohol afterwards for a number of reasons. Okay, so alcohol, first of all, it doesn't get absorbed in the same way in your body anymore. So whereas you used to be able to have a lot and it would get absorbed at a normal rate, now it absorbs sometimes quicker, so it hits harder, it lasts for longer in your system. Some people say, I mean, it's different from person to person, and I unfortunately found that I was still able to drink quite a lot, maybe because I had a bit of a tolerance earlier. So I started off with just a couple of drinks, and the fizz as well. A lot of people find they can't find a drink to drink because it's so fizzy. Now, it's really weird because I can't drink water. It makes me heave and it sounds really weird when it's going down. I really struggle with any kind of fizzy drinks, fizzy water, plain water, anything. The only things I can drink are really tea, coffee, milk, really slowly. And alcohol for some, and I've been to my dietitian in Taunton, and she doesn't know why it is. She said maybe it's when you're drinking alcohol, you feel more relaxed, and so you can drink it. So, for example, I can drink cider, which is quite fizzy. I can drink lager and beers and ales and vodka and Coke, Diet Coke. Any of those things, I can drink it, and they seem to go down quite easily. So, which brings me to my second point of the other thing about alcohol is that if you ever had a problem with, well, we've obviously got kind of some kind of addictive personality, as if we look at my nice nails. If we had that problem with food before, which made us become morbidly obese, which we are if we're having gastric bypass surgery, then we had that kind of a problem, an addictive personality, a hole to fill, whatever reasons. I mean, you can look back at some of my earlier videos, which talks about my childhood, which and issues which may have led to me getting to this point, and maybe why I've got an addictive personality anyway. But so when you can't eat food to the excess that you could before surgery, some people may replace it with alcohol. There's higher incidence of alcoholism post surgery than normal. There's higher incidences of depression and all these kind of things post surgery. So I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. And I have been. I'm not saying I'm an alcoholic now, but I certainly, when I was living in Sweden, the culture was so different. People didn't really drink very much, especially where I was living in north of Sweden, a little quiet little community, mostly Christian, and they just didn't drink. And like we would go out and buy a drink and just drink a little bit at home, but not too much. It was readily available. Being back in England, got back at the beginning of spring sort of last year, it was all about the cider. We live in Somerset, so obviously you're going to drink cider, beer gardens, socializing, meeting new friends, and it all revolved around alcohol. So at first I physically wasn't able to drink as much as I used to. I just have maybe a couple of glasses of wine or maybe a pint of cider, which would last me quite a long time. And then gradually I built it up, and so I could drink more. And then, not that I'm drinking a lot or binge drinking like I used to, but on an average week for me, when I'm not being good or watching my calories or anything like that, I will certainly I'll buy a bottle of Aldi's Merlot, which is, I find it's very nice actually. And I'll have a half a bottle of that of an evening. So the kids go to bed at 7 and I'll drink 2 or 3 glasses quite slowly in an evening. But that's on a Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday. And we know that this is too much for us and we shouldn't be having this much. Then obviously that's the during the week relaxing kind of wine, and also I'll mix it a bit with my husband's cider as well. It's called Swine. Made that one up. Then at the weekend, if my mum's got the kids, it's like, oh yeah, we can drink. It's the weekend. So then I would have easily a bottle of wine and a couple of pints or something like that, which is quite a lot really if I've got no stomach, and I'm not a student, I'm not a teenager anymore. And if I'm going out to the pub and I maybe had a couple of glasses of wine before I go out, then I will start with a pint, sort of sip that quite slowly, but then I'll get bored of that, maybe move on to some shots with some like a mixer, then maybe another cider and a couple of, and honest to God, I have not, I've had such bad hangovers, and maybe it's because I'm getting a bit older as well now, but a few weekends ago, I went out And it's quite bad to admit, but I literally I can't remember getting home. My husband had come home earlier than me, so I'd stayed out with the girls. Somehow got home, woke up. This is I shouldn't be even. Woke up under the trampoline in the garden, like 2 hours after everyone had last seen me, crying, screaming, on banging on the door. I'd been drinking vodka. It hit me really hard, and I just can't remember getting home. I can't remember anything really, which is really, really worrying. And I should be a responsible person now, not just from the point of view of alcohol, but for my kids. Anyway, right. So I can't blame anyone for that apart from me. I shouldn't have drank so much. I should have arranged with someone to look after me what I was drinking. I haven't, and the hangover lasted for about 3 days, and I really felt so. And having a history of depression, it was really bad. So I said I'm never drinking again, and I haven't drank as in binging like that since, and I'm intending not to, do that again. I've almost stopped myself from going out just so I don't have to deal with it. But I've still been having like the glasses of wine in the evenings just to relax when the kids are gone to bed. And the summer holidays do drive you a bit crazy, and you just think, Jesus, when it's time to go to bed, just have a glass of wine and forget it. But one glass of wine is never usually enough for someone with an addictive personality. So what I'm deciding to do is, so basically it hits you harder. Your hangovers are going to be worse. You should forget the calories, extra wasted calories. Anyone who knows, if you're on Slimming World, Weight Watchers, anything like that, you have to save these up for treats, So this is what I'm going to do. I'm not on Slimming World, not on a particular plan. I am using my Fitness Pal, so I'm writing down what I'm eating and I'm checking my calories. And the thing I thought, okay, if I'm spending that certain amount of money on wine each week, then why not put that money aside for something else that's not drink or alcohol related? I've spent it early because it's only been 3 days. But look at my awesome nails. So I'm going to do that. I need my hair doing. That's going to happen next week. I promise you my roots will be gone. Might get my lovely hairdresser to come on my vlog because she's gorgeous and I'd just love to look like her one day. So okay, so I'm going to set aside my money that I would have spent on wine. I'm going to really keep track of it. I'm not going to binge anymore, and I'm going to try not to drink during the week. So Friday and Saturday, yeah, I can have a drink, but not to excess. So please let me know about your experience with alcohol. It's really important, and I can't be the only one. Please say I'm not the only one. So let's talk alcohol, drinking, and bypass related issues. Speak to you soon, guys.